Good afternoon, everybody. It's Christy at the Lucero branch Semi-Crafty Librarian program. Thanks for tuning in today. Um, Hope everybody's having a great day. So it's nice and warm and a little fall-like weather out there. So we're going to actually do a little book pumpkin project today. Super easy, as always. Probably going to have most of the materials around your house. I'm using some felt. You could swap out the felt if you don't have green felt for green paper, some pipe cleaners, some sticks. These are just options. A piece of cardboard for the stem. These things could be used for the little pumpkin stem. Of course, a book. So I chose a book that was falling apart and kind of beat up a little bit, so I didn't feel too guilty cutting it up. Um, Craft knife works really, really well. I know these are super sharp. Not everybody's got a huge comfort level using these, especially kids. So scissors work really well too for this project. Paintbrush, a pencil, some watercolors, and I think I might have mentioned this in the past, but before you get ready to use your watercolors, strip a little water in them, soften up the colors a little bit. So when you're ready to use them, they're ready to go. Okay? All right, so how do we do this? Well, you're going to take your book, and I've got one already started here. Decide how big you want your pumpkin. And you're going to basically cut out your pumpkin shape from the book. So let me show you how easy it is with an X-Acto knife, and then I will show you alternatively that you can do it with your scissors too. So you just simply run it across the shape, and you're going to cut out the paper that you cut with the X-Acto knife, and it's going to leave the round part of the pumpkin shape. And you just rip it away. I think I'll leave that because that's actually part of the pumpkin shape that I want to keep there. So sometimes you've got to go back over it again, and you want to always use the correct side of your X-Acto knife. Sometimes I will try to use my X-Acto knife upside down, and that does not work. So you just rip away the pages that you don't want there, the parts of the pages you don't want, and then with the scissors, basically the same thing. So I'm going to flip this page back over just to use it as a little template. You're going to cut out your shape. And then what's a little more difficult with the scissors, but not hugely so, is getting real close up to the end of the book here. Okay, so let's just take the last few pages here and use our scissors to cut them out. So you can go like that. I usually just start in the middle so I can kind of work from the middle to the edge like this. All right, I'll turn the book around. You can see it's a little more awkward with the scissors, but might take a little more time with the scissors than with the X-Acto knife, but you can see that it works. Eventually, you will get all of your pages cut out. And then once you have them cut out, the scissors are actually really handy to go around the pumpkin shape and trim it up a little bit if you need to trim some scraggly ends or if you want to make it a little more even. I've noticed as I cut the small pumpkin shape out over here that somehow I ended up with the pages not being even. So I'm not sure how that happened, but I don't think in the long run it really has to be exact. Because I think the beauty of pumpkins, real or paper, is that they are not perfect. And I think pumpkins are actually one of the most beautiful plants there are. I love pumpkins. So Okay, we're almost done here cutting out our pumpkin. I am just going to rip off the back here. We don't need that. And then I've got a big mess here. Let me scoot that over. Move my X-Acto knife. Okay, so what you have is one book cut up in the shape of basically a semicircle. Okay, then you're going to open it up and you're going to glue your pages back to back like that. And then I'm going to show you on the small one though, and then it'll fan open. Okay, it'll take the shape of a pumpkin. But I've got two cut out here that I'm actually going to glue the spines back to back with my glue gun. You could probably use some craft glue, but it might just take a little longer to make, which is okay. All right, then we're just gonna hold that together. And because I don't have a finished product all ready to show you, like, we're just gonna cross our fingers that this works. So I am going to glue a couple of these pages together here just to keep it closed. Now you can see on the internet lots of examples of how to make one of these. Definitely do not want to glue your pumpkin down to your board. So be careful with that glue. Okay, I'm going to glue these two pages shut just so that it'll stay open a little bit. And you might need to work your pages a little bit, loosen them up so that they'll stay open. And so this is one of those things, if you're going to make this and you're going to display it, maybe be mindful of the book that you're using. I don't know, it's going to be your Thanksgiving centerpiece. Use a book where the words on the pages will be age appropriate for all of your family or guests. Okay, so you see how you just fan it open, work the pages a little bit, and it'll eventually begin to take the shape that you want it to take. Okay, so now how do we get it kind of orangish? So you're going to use your paint and mix up the colors that you want to make a nice kind of orangey color. Thank you, Miss Jessica. All right, and you could probably use markers, you could probably use crayons, other types of paint, and I'm making a big mess with my watercolor paint, but all right, okay, and you're just gonna take your paint and paint the edges of your book here like this. So when it opens back up, it's gonna look more like an orange pumpkin or whatever color you decide. You know, when I make things, I'm always generally not using colors that whatever I'm making aren't the kind of regular colors, but you could obviously paint this whatever color you wanted to, and it would be just lovely. I happen to really love these. I think they're really pretty. And again, if you get on the internet, you're going to see lots of examples of how to make them, and you're going to see some really cool looking ones. So, okay, you can see now with watercolors, the color is obviously a little more diluted. You might have to do it more than one time to get the effect that you are looking for, but you can see that it's starting to take shape a little bit. I'm not going to spend the time trying to open up the pages. Just know that the more you work them, the more they're going to open up. Okay, so let's do a little leaf. And I'm just going to use some felt, but again, use construction paper if you have construction paper. I'm just going to cut out a basic leaf shape. pumpkin leaves have kind of a distinct shape. This might not be exactly what a pumpkin leaf looks like, but you get the idea. You can make whatever kinds of leaves that you want to make, and I'm going to glue it right here. Now you can see with this little pumpkin, I've kind of used what was the spine of the book as a little stem, okay? However, if you wanted, like for example, with this big one, you could use any number of things if you wanted to get really elaborate for a stem. You know, you could get a little piece of wood, you could color a little dowel the color of a stem, you could use a little piece of cardboard, and again, I saw one example on the internet that they did a really cool thing for a stem. I don't even know what they did, but it looked really awesome. So get some ideas on the internet. You could also use a pipe cleaner for a stem, but you could also shape the pipe cleaner into kind of a cool little leaf too. All right. So just because we have this book here, and I'm kind of curious how this is going to work with just one book rather than two books put together. I don't even know if it will work, but let's try it and see. Just because we're here, because this is what we're doing today. So I have a feeling you're really going to want to put two books up to each other to make this work the best, but let's see here. I'm going to experiment a little bit. Thanks to Jessica, who made sure I had plenty of glue here. We can actually use lots of glue. You know, the last couple crafts I've been making, I've used the glue gun, and I try not to use the glue gun too much because I know not everybody has a glue gun, but it just seems like for some things, the glue gun is really the best answer. All right. I don't know. Let's see. That kind of worked on that side, but you probably have to take lots of your pages and start gluing them together like this. I think your best bet is to get you two books like I did here and glue them back to back like that. So back to our little pumpkin. Tried that experiment. I don't think it worked good. All right. So here we have our little pumpkin, and I think that it looks really cute. You guys experiment with your own little pumpkins for your own Thanksgiving decorations, okay? All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in again, and have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next week. Thanks, bye.